Bonjour French 1. This is your video that will go through the study guide for your 4.2 test. Just go ahead and follow along. If you need to pause because I go too quickly, by all means please do so. And then of course realize that we will watch this video together as a class right before you take the test, so if you have any last minute questions, things you didn't understand, you can definitely talk to me about them in class right before your test. So for the first section of your test, you'll be asked to fill in some blanks with an appropriate school supply word in French. You will have to do these off the top of your head, but the 5 items that are on your test are among these 6. So really quick, if you get shown a picture of shorts, you'll need to fill in the French word for shorts, which is un short. If you have to fill in the word for backpack, it's un sac à dos. If they give you a picture of a pen, you have to write in un stylo. If they give you a picture of an eraser, you have to write in une gomme. If they give you a piece of paper, you have to write une feuille de papier. And if they show you a pencil bag or a pencil case, you have to fill in the words une trousse. For part B on your test, you'll be asked to fill in a color, also written in French, that you would associate with an item. Now the items will be given in French just like these are, and you will have to write your color in French as well, although you do not have to make it agree with the item. You just have to write the original masculine form of that color. You only have to write one color for each item, but you may not repeat a color whenever you get to your test. The 5 items that are on your test are among these 6 that are here on your study guide right now. So if you are faced with saying what color une gomme is for an eraser, I would say you have a choice between the colors blanc, which is white, or rose, which is pink. If they ask you what color a tableau is, remember a tableau is a board, as in it could be a whiteboard and be blanc, it could be a blackboard and be noir, or if it's one of those really old school chalkboards that was actually green, you could actually write the color vert if you would like. For des feuilles de papier, they're talking about notebook paper when they talk about sheets of paper, so don't get creative and think about construction paper that can come in any color of the rainbow. For notebook paper, they just want the word blanc for white. For a basketball, which is what un ballon de basketball is, basketballs are typically orange, so you can have orange on there. For number 5, stylo du professeur are pens of the teacher. Now I know that I can grade in a variety of colors, but the traditional color that teachers would write in would of course be that red pen that they mark up your papers with. Les stylos du professeur would then be the color rouge, which is the color red. And when they talk about un crayon or a pencil, they're talking about your typical number 2 pencils, which I consider to be jaune, which is yellow. I have had students in the past say that they think they look orangish on the outside, so if you want to put orange, you can. But remember, these colors will have to be written off the top of your head, and you will not be able to repeat a color once you've used it on a certain item. For the third section of your test, they will literally be asking you to write out numbers in French, and that's it. They're going to label it as being that you're giving the prices of some items, but the bottom line is you got to write out numbers as words. The good news is that the 5 words that are on your test are among the 6 that are here on your study guide right now, so if you know how to write out these words, you're guaranteed to know the ones on the test. Don't forget that 76 is actually a combination of the word for 60 and 16, so 76 in French is 76. 82 is a combination of the word for 80, which is 80, and 2, which is 2, so altogether 82 is 82. 45 is just the word for 40 and the word for 5, it's 45. 200 is the words for 2 and hundreds, as in 200. 91 is tricky, it's the combination of the word for 80, which is 80, and then 11, which is 11, so 91 is 91. And then 159 would be the word for 100, which is cent, the word for 50, which is 50, and the word for 9, which is neuf. 159 is 159. For part D, it's going to look a lot like what you're looking at right now on your study guide. It's not the exact same, but it's very similar. You're going to be given a conversation in French. That's what you have down here below. And in that conversation, they're going to have blanks where part of the conversation has been blocked out. They will give you a word bank to help complete those blanks with either words or phrases in French. It's your job to figure out which one makes sense in each blank. The nice thing is just like what you're looking at here on your study guide, on your test, there will be 5 blanks, and there'll be 5 words or phrases in the word bank. The other thing that's nice is you can use the hints of capitalization and punctuation and things like that to help you figure out where stuff belongs. If it's capitalized, it needs to be at the beginning of a sentence, that kind of thing. So I kind of wanted to go through, first of all, what's in the word bank. The word merci means thank you. De quelle couleur means in what color. Je cherche means I'm looking for. Il est à combien means how much is it. And il me faut is I need. Now, knowing what the things are in the word bank is half the battle, because if you don't know what they mean there, then it's really hard to figure out which one goes in which blank. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the conversation here. It starts with somebody saying salut, which is of course hi. The next person says salut, and then there's a blank before the word sac à dos, s'il vous plaît. So something, backpack, please. You don't want to say thank you, backpack, please. You don't want to say in what color, backpack, please. The only thing that was really going to make sense and starts with a capital letter, since it is at the beginning of the sentence, is je cherche. Means I'm looking for a backpack, please. To which the salesperson says, oui, nous avons beaucoup de sacs à dos. Yes, we have lots of backpacks. And then they ask them a question. The question and the only thing that would kind of work here in this combination, and looking at what comes next, the fact that the answer to the question is violet ou rose, which is purple or pink, the only logical question from this word bank is the question de quelle couleur, which means in what color. So then the person answers by saying violet ou rose, we just said is purple or pink, please, to which the salesperson says voila, which is here you go, and they hand them the backpacks. Now, as the person looks at the backpack, they're asking something about the pink one. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly what that might be unless you read the next line. The next line is the salesperson saying, il est à $20, meaning it's $20. So obviously the person had to be asking, how much does this backpack cost? Il est à combien de rose is how much is the pink one. To which the salesperson says, il est à $20. Then the shopper says, bon, ah oui, blank une règle aussi. Something about a ruler. Obviously, the only two things that are left are I need and thank you. The one that will fit is I need, which is il me faut une règle aussi. You'll also notice that il me faut is not capitalized. It's not at the start of a sentence, so you can use those kinds of clues as well. So the person says, I need a ruler also, to which the salesperson says, voila, here you go, une règle rose, a pink ruler. And finally, they say their thank yous, which is merci beaucoup, and the salesperson says, à votre service, you're welcome. Make sure that you're reading through this a few times before you come in and try to do it on the test. Think through what it means. Notice whether there's letters that need to be capitalized or not, because that could be a clue. And also get in a habit of reading what comes after a blank in order to backtrack and figure out what should have been in the blank in the first place. For Part E on your test, you'll be asked to choose from two choices the correct form of acheter. Remember, the key to this is remembering that in the je, the tu, the il, el, and ils and els forms, you have to add an accent mark, even though acheter doesn't originally have one. You also, of course, have to do the same thing you've always done to acheter, which is drop the er and add appropriate endings. So if you forgot about your er endings, remember for je, it's just the letter e. For tu, it's the letters es. For il, el, it's just the letter e. Nous ending is O and S, vous ending is EZ, and ils and els is ENT. So real quick, for the tu form of acheter, I dropped off the ER, I added the tu ending of ES, and remember that the tu form is inside the boot, which means that you do have to add an accent mark over that first E. For the je form, I dropped the ER, I added the E ending, and then of course I added that accent mark to that first E because the je form is inside the boot on your verb chart. For the vous form, you have to drop the ER, you add the EZ, and because nous and vous are outside of the chart or outside of the boot, you do not have to add any accent marks. Nous and vous are actually totally regular when it comes to the nous and vous form of acheter. So on the nous form here, I just dropped the ER, added the O and S, no accent mark to worry about. The last one is one we do need to talk about, though. Vos amis are your friends, as in they. Because it's they, it's the ils and els form, so you can see the ENT ending, and you can also see that I've added the accent mark because ils and els also has that spelling change of having an accent mark added to it. For the last part of the test, you'll be asked to read a French conversation and answer some true-false questions about it. It's going to be a conversation between a salesperson and a shopper, and basically the shopper is going to be looking for some school supplies and the salesperson is going to respond. What you're looking at here on your study guide are some of the words and phrases that you'll encounter both in the conversation, which is written in French, and in the true-false statements, which are written in French. The idea being if you know what they mean in English here, you'll know what they mean in English on your test, and you'll be able to figure out the correct answers. So some of the most important things that stood out to me that might either catch people off guard or were important to knowing the answers on the test include number 1, which is je cherche un sac à dos, which means I'm looking for a backpack. Jaune, which is the color yellow. Rouge, which is the color red. Je voudrais, which is the phrase for I would like. C'est combien, which is the question how much is it. Il me faut, which is I need. Une règle, which is a ruler. Voilà, which is the word for here, like here you go, I'm handing it to you. Claire choisit la règle rouge means Claire chooses the red ruler. 91 is 80-11, which is otherwise known as 91. Elle a besoin de is she needs. 83 is 83. And 90 is 80-10, otherwise known as 90.